Thanks for joining me for this week's quick business tip. Today, we are going to talk about service-based businesses and how we've all been brainwashed by HGTV. Because you know that if you watch any home renovation show, you see a very specific narrative. In the first 5 minutes, there is the ugly, outdated house. Then we have 5 to 10 minutes of people swinging sledgehammers, laughing, and demolishing drywall. At the end, we have 20 minutes where you see a beautiful, pristine, fully staged home. The clients walk in, they cry, they hug the contractor, and the credits roll. It's like magic. But if you're a realtor, a contractor, a roofer, a landscaper, you know that HGTV completely edits out the most difficult part of the job. That's the messy middle. Because in the real world, demolition isn't 5 fun minutes. It's 6 weeks of living with dust in your coffee mug and everywhere else. It's contractors showing up at 7 o'clock in the morning and supply delays. And if you're a realtor, the messy middle is the week after the inspection when the buyer is freaking out about a cracked floor joist or, especially in the Midwest, a little bit of mold in the air quality report. Maybe you're a landscaper and it's week 2 of a backyard overhaul where the lawn is just a giant mud pit and the homeowner is wondering why they just paid $15,000 to ruin their perfectly nice grass. Every service business has a messy middle. It's the point in the project where the initial excitement has worn off and the final result is nowhere in sight. This is when your customer's anxiety is at an all-time high. And this is also where most business owners hide. They put their heads down, they get the work done, and they hope the client doesn't complain too loudly. But today, I'm going to show you how jumping into that mess with them and applying a little bit of unreasonable hospitality is the ultimate secret to generating referrals. Now, I was recently working on a project with a custom home builder. They create the most beautiful high-end work. And looking through their portfolio, I was in awe of how amazing their finished photos were. But since I know this industry so well, I knew exactly what these home buyers had to live through to get to this beautiful final project. Because if you're in remodeling and you're tearing out a family's kitchen, you're not just changing their house, you're disrupting their entire life. And if you're a custom home builder, home building takes a lot longer than people realize, and it can feel like there are weeks when nothing happens. So if you go about just providing the service, you show up on time, you install cabinets correctly, you clean up the job site at the end of every day, you are doing your job. But when you apply unreasonable hospitality, it looks a little different. It means that you start anticipating the pain of the messy middle and you solve a problem before the customer even has to ask you about it. Now imagine if you're a contractor and you're tearing out a kitchen. Tear out starts on Monday. Tuesday evening, someone shows up at their front door. It's a local pizza delivery guy, but they didn't order pizza. He's standing there with dinner for the family and he hands them a handwritten note from the contractor that says, I know living without a kitchen this week is incredibly stressful. Please let dinner be on us tonight. Everything's on schedule. The drywall's going up tomorrow. Now, in this scenario, the contractor didn't wait until the end of the project to hand them a cutting board or some custom Cutco knives. He met them in the middle of the mess. He saw what he knew would be a high frustration point for them and figured out how to feed their entire family while in the middle of a construction zone. That's the difference between a vendor and a partner. Because a vendor gives you what you paid for, and that's what people expect. But a partner cares about how you feel while you're getting what you're paying for. Now, as a Christian, I hear people talking about serving others all the time, and it's something that I consider deeply. And it's easy to be generous when you're handing over keys after closing, or when you're doing a final walkthrough of a beautifully built house, because it's so easy to smile when everyone around you is clapping. But it's a whole lot harder to serve with your heart when things are difficult, when the client's stressed, when the timeline's tight, and when nobody's clapping. As a business owner, I decided that I was going to serve my clients with my whole heart. And by doing that, I would need to pay attention to the details that maybe nobody else is even going to see. And I knew that I was going to have empathy for my clients and realize that even though something that I am going through with them might feel routine to me, this is a major life and business disruption for my client. It's important to treat people the absolute best and give them all the grace in the world, especially when they are anxious, stressed, and vulnerable. Because by giving grace and injecting hospitality into the most stressful part of your customer's journey with you, it's not just good for your business. It turns you into a light for your community and provides peace for your client in the middle of all their chaos. So how can we go about creating a system that makes this easy? I have a quick checklist for you so you can start applying this to your business this week. It's going to allow you to build a very tiny hospitality strategy for the most stressful phase of your business. It's only 3 steps. First, you need to look at the timeline. So map out what you are doing for your customer, how long it's going to take, and what steps are needed to get this project done. Then find the week or the phase of the project where your customers traditionally get the most anxious, when they ask the most questions, or when they experience the most disruption. That is your messy middle. Step 2, we need to communicate before it gets messy. Once you've identified where the anxiety is going to hit, you need to get ahead of it. So if week 3 of a 9-week project is always the most difficult, send them an email during the middle or end of week 2 that says something like, next week is going to feel chaotic. You might feel like progress has stalled or overwhelmed by the inspection report. This is normal. And here's what I'm going to do to help you manage it. By getting in there ahead of their anxiety, you are making their fear feel normal and you instantly diffuse the situation. Now, step 3, last step, is providing them a micro gift. One small way to make their life easier during that most stressful phase of the project. So if you're a realtor and you know that you are going to have to navigate a tough inspection response, send them a digital gift card for coffee. Or if you're an HVAC company and your client has to wait 3 days for a custom part to show up in the middle of a heat wave, drop off a couple window units to help them keep their bedrooms cool while they're waiting. Finding these micro gifts is so impactful, but it's important to remember that it has to be about the customer and not about your branding. So that HVAC company, those window units do not have to have your logo on it. We all know that you get paid at the closing table or you get paid when the job is complete. But how you handle the messy middle, that is where you get referrals. So when things start to get uncomfortable, don't go into hiding. Jump into the mess with your customer, provide clear communication, a whole lot of empathy, and a little bit of hospitality. Then you will start to see your referrals increase exponentially. I'm Jennifer Swineford with Limitless Impact Agency. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me today. Keep leading with integrity, serving your clients well, and I will see you next week for another episode of Quick Business Tips.